for quite some time. How important is it that the Education Department investigate Smith College?
Yeah, it's absolutely important. I mean, the Education Department under Linda McMahon has been awesome on this issue. I love what they did to my university, the University of Pennsylvania, changed our record boards. But yes, if you're going to have a women's college, it needs to mean something. And absolutely, that should not include people who are male. If you want to be a co-ed college, go for it. But if you're going to be a women's college, it needs to stay to the definition of what a woman is. And that's someone who's female. A man does not fall into that category.
This investigation, guys, stems from a 2025 complaint filed by Defending Education, which is a conservative advocacy group that raised concerns about the college's admission practices and its policies concerning locker rooms and bathroom spaces, sports participation, all of this based on gender identity, not actual gender. Now, if the allegations are true, Francis, how should Smith College be held accountable? The other thing, too, which is so clear based on this action, is how different the situation would be if you had a Democratic administration. They would be celebrating this entire situation. They would be celebrating the fact that this man was allowed into an all-women's space.
Yeah. I think anytime you're governing a body of people, you have to go with the greatest good with the least amount of damage. And to support one person's rights at the expense of the comfort of everyone else who's there for a particular purpose, chose that school for a particular purpose, chose an all-women's environment, and to make them totally uncomfortable, and particularly with the sports issue, I mean, it's just unfair, you know? And so then you take away those opportunities, you give those people failures, they affect their lives. And so it's just like, you know, we do have a lot of trans rights in this country, and we do have lots of places for those people to be honored, and they always have to pick the one place where they're going to cause the most friction and create a federal case out of this. And I think it's unfortunate because, you know, while I agree that they deserve rights, it's not at the expense of everybody else's rights.
Such a great point there, but a spokesperson for Smith College, they said in a statement, the college is fully committed to its institutional values, including compliance with civil rights laws. Again, Paula, I mean, obviously not. I mean, what's your take here? Because you've fought for women's rights, you've fought to keep women in sports, keep men out of women's sports. So what do you expect to happen here?
You know, I really hope the right thing happens in this situation, which again, a woman is someone who is born female, but they're hiding under these civil rights. There's been all this debate saying that your gender is simply whatever you say it is when they go under the guise of this gender identity term, which really doesn't mean anything. And again, it goes back to just agreeing as a society. Words have to have meaning. Definitions need to be agreed upon. And a woman is someone who's born female. We need to stick to that definition. We need to strike it down everywhere that they're using it otherwise. And it's just a really unfortunate situation, again, that's costing women opportunities and making women feel unsafe. And again, if you're going to protect women and have opportunities for women, they need to be for women only.
Yeah, it's impossible to quantify how many women have benefited from athletics in particular, self-esteem, teen pregnancy prevention, self-harm prevention, and this psychological effect that it has on women when you have a man in your space and you know you can't win. It beats you down. I've seen it with you, Paula. I've seen it with Bradley Gaines and so many women. And look how CNN reported the news of the Education Department investigating Smith College. I wrote this on X. In the Trump administration's latest move to limit trans rights, the Department of Education has launched a Title IX investigation into Smith College and all women's colleges in Western Massachusetts for admitting trans women. Again, those are men. Limiting trans rights. Your reaction, Francis? I mean, like you said it so perfectly before. What about the rights of every other woman?
That's the thing. You remember that Supreme Court case about the wedding cake? It went all the way to the Supreme Court case because somebody who was LGBTQ wanted somebody who was fundamentally Christian to bake their wedding cake. It's like, just go somewhere else and get a wedding cake.
Yeah.
You know,
but that wasn't the point.
That's not the point. And that's the thing is, as a society, we cannot support initiatives that create maximum friction in the system because the trans community at large is really not oppressed in this country.
They're one of the most protected classes we've ever had.
Totally, right? And if you want to be trans, fine, right? But don't go to these vestiges where people go there for specific reasons and take those opportunities away. And the women's sports thing, that killing women's athletics is so demoralizing to women, and it's going to change the culture forever.
Information, truth, is freedom. Is Newsmax. It's real news for real people.